Hello and welcome to another TripleJD video. I am J1 and today I'm going to be playing as Felipe Massa on Formula 1 2013, trying to do a back of the grid challenge, and there's only one challenge really, and that's to do it at Monte Carlo. So here I am then off the start line. Massa then down towards turn 1. If you're normally an accident, massive move out of the way. You're gonna have to give the positions back. So no positions made off the start line then. What a wonderful start. Coming up down towards Casino Square for the first time. Going around the outside of the Marussia. Both Marussias and both K2s. Well, that's quite important. Doesn't have to pass them now. That is quite important. Now down the inside of Toro Rosso. It's getting a bit tight in there, but it does manage to make it stick. So that's good. Okay, now through the Lowe's hairpin, nice and slow. So 5 cars in the first half a lap then, so it's not bad then as what we first thought it would be. Can he get any more cars then on the first lap before the race settles down? Up and down towards the chicane, and he's down the inside of a Toro Rosso, locked his brakes but got ahead of the Williams of Maldonado as well. Even better. He's up to 15th already. 78 lap race, and on lap 1 he's passed 7 cars. Missing the bollard then, going through the swimming pool. Out towards Vasquez, having a look at the back of Bottas in the other Williams. And through the final corner, down onto the pit straight for the first time. Using some curves. Is he going to go the inside of Bottas? He is! And he makes it stick nicely. So 8 cars in the first lap. Good start, and now we can start trying to catch the rest of the field. So going down towards Mirabeau once again. We've got Toro Rosso ahead of him. And Bottas is still behind him. It's coming in through the tunnel. A little bit of a gap outside them. Going through the tunnel, using some curves down towards the chicane. Locking a brake then on the inside. Just missing the wall. Got a poor exit because of that, I think. Didn't take the line he really wanted. Now through the back corner and now through the swimming pool. Well, that wasn't the best. Going through there. It's okay. Well, struggling now then. Quite clearly. The high fuel load is not really doing very well. Now, cut down a bit straight in lap 2, so no cars made up on that lap whatsoever. So we are now at DRS, that could help him, although he's not within a second of anybody. So that is the problem as well. Through the Casino Square once again. And coming up towards Mirabeau. He's done a fast first sector there, it's purple first sector. Coming down towards Lowe's hairpin. This used to be the middle sector then. The middle sector is where Massa makes up a lot of time, but then loses quite a lot in the last sector. The last sector is where the DRS is, so that could be a problem as well. Now coming up towards the chicane. Doesn't lock his brakes this time. Nice and easy. Nice line then through there. Nice line. And you can see then he's all over the back of Di Resta now. Oof. Di Resta and Massa both have knocks into the wall. They come up then towards the chicane. Massa trying to stay as close as he can to Di Resta. He's going to have Di Resta down pit straight, but he's just got to make sure that he gets a good enough run to get there. Now, with the DRS, with some curves. Is it possible to get down the inside? It's going to be tight. Yes, he's got it. A little bit of a lock up down into turn 1, but he's got it. So that's another place made up then. He's now up to 13th, the end of lap 3. So we're on to lap 4 now. He's into the wall on the outside of Casino Square. And now it's on the back of Gutierrez for what is 12th place in the Sauber. a little bit of a queue here. Is that the other Force India? Sutil? I think it is. So Sutil is in 10th, holding up McLaren with Gutierrez, Massa, and the other Force India of Duresta. There's a Barca lock up into the back of Gutierrez. No damage done to either car. No action needed by the stewards either. Just a lock up there by the Ferrari. He really needs to start getting past these cars, because the problem is that by getting held up by these cars, he's not able to get off the back. For example, look, there's another new fastest lap there by the people at the front of the field, and Massey's just not going at their speed. He's going to have a go at Gutierrez, then down in turn 1, and he's got him. He's got Gutierrez then. So, well, it seems that the turn 1 or down into the chicane really are the only two passing places. Well, apart from on lap 1, where you could try and make a sneak move around the outside in Casino Square, like Massa did to 4 cars. But so it's Perez in the McLaren, also being held up by Sutil. Gutierrez still on the back of Massa. I believe that the Force India of Sutil, of Duresta is also on the back of him. Massa did not get a great exit there going into the tunnel, so he's going to be nowhere near close enough. Oh, mind you, he's at a massive lunge from really far back, and he's made it stick on Perez. Wow, that was incredible. I think what might actually have happened is that he pulled out to go down the inside to avoid hitting him, rather than to actually try an overtaking manoeuvre. But then he made the corner. That was amazing. So Massa up to 11th place, and now he's got Sutil. Can he get past Sutil? I wonder if Sutil has some front wing damage from lap 1 or something. He's not going very quickly, and he's going down the inside, and he's got Sutil as well. Sutil didn't have very much straight line speed there. Didn't put much of a fight either. It was very straight. So Massa into the points already. 12 cars in 6 laps, and now he can start making his move onto the back of the main pack, and maybe even perhaps get a fastest lap or 2 in if he's got the pace. He needs to start trying to build a gap to Sutil. I suppose this is the point in the race then. Yeah, he's got a bit of space in front of him. He needs to start thinking about strategy. Depending on how fast he is in comparison to those behind, maybe he should be thinking about, because Sutil, as you can see, is very slow in comparison to the cars ahead, and if Massa can catch up to those cars, then Massa's got to be looking. As long as Sutil can hold up the cars behind him. Oh, that was very wide in that chicane. As long as Sutil can hold up the cars behind him, perhaps Massa can get a pit stop over Sutil. Maybe that's the way it's going to pan out. There's quite a scruffy lap there then by Felipe Massa, especially in the last sector. They're coming into turn 1 once again, at the beginning of lap 7. So the front runners then are already through the first sector, already down in the Lowe's hairpin. So Massa's got some work to do if he wants to get onto the back of them. But he's got no traffic, so he's got the chance to get onto the back of them. As long as he has good pace at this point. Down the tunnel. Come down. Massa then comes down the hill into the chicane. A little bit wide on the entry, but he's alright there. It's going to be a long haul, this. He's green in the middle sector there. Unfortunately, I can't quite see the gap. The screen is too small from what I'm looking at. I'm hoping not being able to see any gaps. This is a bit of a problem. I don't know if I can make that any bigger. I don't think so. A shame, really. So yeah, coming through Mirabeau once again. There's Raikkonen in 9th place. He needs to start trying to make a move on. Just trying to see if I can do something to help me out here. Oh, he's missed the apex in that chicane there. It's but he's purple in that middle sector, so I don't think it is going to be a fastest lap of the Grand Prix. No, it isn't. Well, that ruined his lap then as they come now through turn 1. Massa is getting now a gap over Sutil and the car behind. We never really saw if he did have damage to his car, Sutil. Like, it would be quite difficult to tell. But yeah, so lap 9 of this 78 lap race, and it's a purple first sector. So it seems that the Massa is beginning to settle in, to keep his pace up, and to get on with it. As he comes into the tunnel once again. But now coming up into the tunnel. Getting ready for the braking. And
we have a gap of around 4 seconds between you and the next car.
a few technical difficulties here, I'm afraid. I'm trying to fix, can help me out. We get on with this race. Luckily it's in a bit of a quiet moment. Oh, I did the fastest lap of the race. Way! So Felipe Massa with the fastest lap of the race. Sorry I wasn't able to help out much in there. Oh. So out of the tunnel, in there again. So he must be making up time on the front runners now, because he's doing the fastest lap of the race. So we've got a 3-second gap then. It's his third on the team radio to the car ahead, which is good. But well, that fastest lap lasted long. They're beating him. Is that a car I see there in the distance? I think it is. Okay, well, so Massa is now gaining on the pack quite considerably. Boom, into the tunnel. We are now on lap 11. Braking now then into the chicane. And it's a purple middle sector again, but he's wide. Massa's wide in the exit. Sorry, on the entrance to the swimming pool chicane, so that's going to put him off. Down the pit straight then. As we start lap 12. And Felipe Massa doing a good job. He's got a good gap now over Sutil behind him. Quite a good gap indeed. So it is a realistic possibility then that, for Massa to be able to get a pit stop over those around him. Sorry, over those behind him. But oof, there's a little nudges the wall there down at the lowest hairpin. He's definitely catching Raikkonen now. He seems to have dropped back a bit. So I wonder if Raikkonen might have had an incident with doesn't damage himself. He seems to drop back a little bit from the pack, or has well, no, maybe not. Maybe it's just a bit of a slow pace that Raikkonen has. Not dropping back that much. As they come now then through the swimming pool.
We're faster than the guy ahead in sector 1. Let's see if we can use that to our advantage.
And I think I have solved my technical difficulties. That's good, right.
Carry on with the job you're doing.
Okay, so now I can actually see what's going on. So we're about to start on lap 13 of the Monaco Grand Prix. You can see the map now as well. So we've got Alonso, who's just gone through the first sector, the yellow dots. I think Vettel's got a little bit of Vettel's got a bit of a gap over the rest of the cars at the moment. He's catching the top four, the back four, which is the Marussias and the Caterers. But now Massa then all over the back of Raikkonen. The gap is 16 seconds behind to Sutil. Massa now trying to look for a way past the Lotus. He can get a good run out of here, which he has. He's got a relatively good run. Using cars now, coming through the tunnel. Does he have a go then down into the chicane? He's going to have a go, and he's made it stick. Massa takes 9th place from the Lotus car. Keeping it late inside here, so the gap is now 3 seconds to the other Lotus of Romain Grosjean in 8th. Comes across the line in a 1:17.2. I'm not totally sure what the fastest lap of the race is at the moment. But whatever it is, I'm sure it will get beaten at some point in the race. I can pick up on that one. Massa then through Casino Square, and he's done another purple first sector then, 0.08 of a second faster than the previous, and he's making up time on Grosjean, and he's pulling away from Kimi Raikkonen as well. Yeah, well, of course the only downside knows he's now lost the gap to Sutil. Oh, that wasn't very good. Coming out of there into the summer. Oh, into the wall on the inside there of the swimming pool chicane. He's about half a second down now on his previous lap. And coming into the final corner now, and onto the pit straight once more. So the front runners have caught the Caterings and the Marussias, and they're going to start losing time. It seems that Ferrari are going to be stopping Massa at the end of the lap then. Massa has been quite high on tyre degradation, so I think it's going to be pitting once more than the cars around him as well, which is not going to help his chances, given that he already started at the back and now he's got to pit one more time than them as well. It's going to be even worse. Now, are these back markers? I think, are these back markers, or are these all cars together? I think these are cars together actually. I think these are cars fighting for position. Yeah, they are. There's a McLaren, so it's Button ahead of Grosjean then in 7th and 8th, and the traffic is just gonna make it worse for them. But Massa comes in then, so Massa makes the first stop, puts on the prime tyres at the end of lap 15, and is away again. And it looks as though he's easily going to be out ahead of Satil. He's got a 22.8 second gap over him. So it looks like, yep, it is. He's going to easily come out in 10th place. So that's good then for Massa. A bit tentative in the exit. That's good for Massa because now we can put in some decent times and have a go at trying to undercut a few cars, so we can get back onto the. So maybe break into the top 4 or 5 from where he was in 9th. He only lost 1 place since. He got 15.8 seconds, so it probably takes about 17-18 seconds. Yeah, it's around about 17. It's exactly 18 seconds he lost to Satil. So yeah, coming out of the tunnel then on his outlap. The other cars probably won't be pitting for another 5. Well, no, it won't quite be that long. I think it's going to be 3 or 4 laps. Maybe the guys on the option tyres ahead. Massa then on the primes. I suppose he's looking to go a little bit faster than those ahead of him. I mean, they're still on option tyres, which means that they're all on the faster tyre. But that's 13.7. Yeah, so he is making up some time. But then again, the cars ahead of him are in traffic as well, so that's not going to make things any easier for the cars ahead of him. So it's a good time to pit then, Massa. I think the cars ahead can't really afford to stop if they want to stop. I think Massa's probably going to end up 3-stopping in this race, which means he's got a bit more flexibility. He can choose when he pits a little bit more, and that's exactly what he's done. But yeah, the gap's down to 10 seconds to Raikkonen now, so Raikkonen definitely being held up by traffic. The gap is exactly 10 seconds to Raikkonen actually. But of course now Massa's going to be the one catching the front runners very quickly. Massa still can't do fastest laps. He still can't seem to break his 1:16.9 that he did on the option tires. Vettel then is already into back and going into the swimming pool. So Massa's job is very, very difficult at the moment. But he did just take 9/10 of a second out of Raikkonen in that sector, and he's just done purple first sector as well. So Massa is getting some pace out of his tyres. But is it enough pace really at the moment? Difficult to tell. But he's coming up then towards the back of the Marussia. There's a Marussia and a Caterham there. He's going to have to go past. Well, he did have the fastest first sector. He did have a purple first sector. Is it going to be a purple middle sector? No. But oh my goodness, Van der Garde and Chilton come together. And Van der Garde is out of the race, I believe. And Chilton is forcing Massa towards the wall. Well, so Van der Garde then out of the race. We had a good viewing of that then, so I wonder what happened to Van der Garde and what put him out. He seemed to be pushed out wide by Chilton. Maybe he hit the wall on the inside there. Sorry, in the runoff area. He pulled off to retire. So Van der Garde out of the Grand Prix. We have our first retirement. And Massa. Well, the gap is still under 10 seconds to Raikkonen, so he seems like he lost a little bit of time. He didn't gain any time back, so he must have lost a little bit of time because he was gaining. Oh, we got a safety car! Okay, so this changes things. We got a safety car. Felipe Massa locking both wheels going into the chicane. So, well, this changes everything now. Vettel's going to lose the gap he had. So, that must be from Van der Garde then. Van der Garde's the only retirement we've had so far. So I wonder what happened to cause that. Alonso's out. Alonso's out, and there's another car out as well. So there's been a secondary collision. It says Rosberg's in 9th. So Rosberg and Alonso have had a collision and have taken each other out. There's the safety car. So Vettel was already ahead. Vettel was already ahead of the safety car when it came out. So we're going to have to go around again. So that put Massa up to 8th then. So Van der Garde is out. Rosberg is out. Alonso is out. And the cars around then are not pitting just yet. This is helping Felipe Massa to no end. Because when the cars ahead come in, they will all now come out behind, or they should all come out behind. Oh, that was very poor then by Massa. This is under safety car, that's not very good. They're all going to come out behind Massa. So Massa has just brought himself right into contention. The thing is that the car in front of him is peak, but he can't pass peak under the safety car. The safety car conditions. We're going to have a lapped car in the middle of the. And then I think there's a Marussia just up ahead as well. It's also going to get in the way once this race gets restarted. I think Vettel has now caught the safety car. Is that Vettel? I think it is, yeah. So Vettel's caught the safety car now. And is already going through to back. The question's got to be asked then at this point. Is Massa actually going to catch the safety car? The safety car should be out for another lap. Which should mean he's going to catch it. But, well, we'll see. But it's not like he can go any faster. It seems that Sutil is gaining on Massa, so Peak clearly is not going as fast as he could be. As the safety car. Oh, and Peak's now gone off. Oh, there's another guy, just Raikkonen! Raikkonen and Bianchi! What is going on under the safety car? So Raikkonen is out. Bianchi is out. So that's another 2 cars. That's 4 cars. So we had a car out, which caused the safety car. That was Van der Garde. After the safety car come out, Rosberg and Alonso have had a collision and have taken themselves out. And now Raikkonen has had a crash with a Marussia. And Hulkenberg's just come in and has come out behind Massa. So Massa's now up to 6th. This is astonishing. So Raikkonen is out. Alonso is out. Rosberg is out. That gave Massa 3 places from 10th to 7th. And now he's made up another one thanks to Hulkenberg's pit stop. So Grosjean is in 5th. We're gonna have a Caterham in the middle. The safety car, I believe, is coming in at the end of this lap. And Massa is just about, so Massa is just about going to catch the safety car. We believe Vettel is backing the pack up.
Okay, let's get some temperature into those tyres.
And he is just about going to catch it. There we go, there it is. So we are going to catch the safety car, just about. The safety car pulls in. And we are racing again. Lap 23 at Monaco. And Peak gets out of the way. Vettel is in the pits. Vettel is in the pits. That gives. So I know there was another car that was in the pits as well, so I didn't see that. But Massa now up to 4. So this is really helping Massa's race now. That early pit stop was a massive, massive help. And now Hulkenberg is in 5th place. He's 3 seconds then behind Romain Grosjean. So the top 3 have not pitted yet, so Massa really should be able to get onto the back of them. Equally Hulkenberg should be catching Massa a little bit, arguably, because Massa's been on his tyres 8 laps now. So Hulkenberg on brand new tyres, maybe. I mean, he's in a Sauber. It shouldn't be as fast. We'll see. Hulkenberg's done very well actually at the moment to be where he is. He's in 5th place, so he's ahead of Vettel. They both stopped, and Vettel was the race leader. So this has worked out horrifically. And now Webber's in, and Hamilton's in. So this is going to put Hulkenberg in 3rd. Yes, it does. So the Sauber of Nico Hulkenberg, who is catching Massa. Hulkenberg in P3 at the moment, and Sutil, who still hasn't stopped, in P4 as well. So, well, the safety car really has mixed things up now. And what's also interesting is that Massa is not catching Grosjean. And the team radio has just told Massa to change his fuel mix, go to a richer fuel, get onto the back of Grosjean. Well, at the moment, I don't think it's that much of a. I don't think it matters that much at this point, does it? I mean, Grosjean has got to do one more stop than Massa, surely. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's still early days. We're not even a third of the way into the Grand Prix yet. But yeah, Grosjean is definitely holding his own against Massa. And Hulkenberg is gaining a little tiny bit on Felipe Massa. They got 2.4. But Massa still is not matching the times he did on the option tyre. That is why. So that is why Grosjean can hold his own out there. The harder tyre is not. The harder tyre is not faster than an old set of super softs. Vettel with a 1:15.5. Well, that's 1.5 seconds faster than anything that Felipe Massa has done so far. But the gap is stable somewhere between 3.5 seconds then, and Grosjean is doing really well out there. And we know that the Lotus is good on its tyres. It's a shame that Raikkonen is out of the race. You can see, and Massa's not helping his tyres by locking them up going into that chicane. So Grosjean is now lapping someone. And Massa is a little bit all over the place, and he's missed that chicane. So who is that then? But Massa's Grosjean has lapped someone.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you're within 1 second of the car.
It's a Marussia by the looks of it. So this is going to be a second lap on the Marussia, and it did lose Grosjean a little bit of time. It lost. Yes, it did. It lost quite a bit of time, and Chilton is in the way. This is not good. So now it's going to hold Massa up as well. But I'll tell you who is in a really good position at the moment, and that is Nico Hulkenberg. Nico Hulkenberg has stopped already. The car behind him is Sutil, who has not stopped and has been slow anyway, and no one can get past him at the moment. So I think Grosjean and Massa, well, Grosjean especially, before Grosjean comes in, I mean that's up to 4.3, yeah, and only 0.7 of a second between Massa and Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg is on it at the moment. He is really on it. He's all over the back of Massa. But now the thing is that so the team have now said that Grosjean should be pitting within the next 3 laps. Grosjean needs to get a pit stop over Sutil, which he seems to be getting quite close to. What's the gap? It's going to be tight. At the moment, it's going to be tight, but in a couple of laps' time, I think Grosjean might be able to do it. Similarly, then Hulkenberg cannot seem to pass Massa. I think Massa's going to do everything he can to hold up Hulkenberg, but Massa on these prime tyres is just quite simply not doing very well. The car's moving about, he does not have any pace, he's slower than Grosjean, whose tyres have now, well, I'm assuming he must have done a quali lap on those tyres, so he must have been 30 odd laps he's done on those tyres. Well, that raises the question then, really, that if Grosjean can get 30 laps out of a set of super soft tyres, now maybe Sutil's trying to do the same. If Grosjean is trying to get as many as 30 laps out of those super soft tyres, and Sutil is as well, then maybe they can one stop if they go onto the prime tyres. And that really does put Grosjean in an excellent position for this race. So we think then Grosjean is doing an absolutely spectacular job out front. Hulkenberg is looking good as well. We're not quite sure where Massa is in terms of strategy, but he's also up there, pulling away from Sutil. And if these three can get a pit stop over Sutil, then they're laughing. But Massa's pace is definitely poor. It's definitely really poor. It's quite worrying then for Felipe Massa, actually. I wonder if he can go back onto the... I wonder how strategy can work so that he can go back onto the super soft tyres. He seems to be a lot better on those than he is now.
Hulkenberg slightly faster than you.
His gap's now nearly 5 seconds. Grosjean pulling away at the moment. I suppose at the moment, well, Grosjean's got no reason to pit unless his tyres really are absolutely terrible. Because he's the fastest guy on the road. Sutil's holding everybody else up behind. Massa's got no pace and is holding up Hulkenberg. Grosjean really is the guy at the moment who has not stopped yet on a set of really old super soft tyres and is actually doing a good enough job to be able to make this work. Grosjean is looking really good at the moment. And back end of Massa's car stepped out there. But I say Massa's pace is really bad. It's not actually that bad. He's what's the gap to Hulkenberg? 2 seconds. So he's holding the gap to Grosjean. He's holding the gap to Grosjean, and he's slowly edging out a gap again to Hulkenberg. So I think that maybe it's just the tyres. Maybe just the tyres just don't have the pace. I mean, maybe the super soft tyres really are the tyre to be on in this race. And that poses the question to Grosjean: does he want to go onto them and do 48 laps on them if he's going to try and one stop this race? The gap is 4.6 and 2.3 to Hulkenberg now for Massa. These three really are pulling away. You've got to think about strategy now. When is Grosjean going to make that stop? This is lap 30 and Grosjean still has not stopped yet. And Massa really is not getting anything out of these tyres. Seems to be really struggling on them. And I think Hulkenberg might be beginning to do the same. He's been in the dirty area of Massa for a little while. Maybe he's backed off a bit to save the tyres. But whatever it is that's going on in there, it's not doing him a lot of good at the moment. And Grosjean continues again as he starts now lap 31. And just wow. Absolutely incredible at the moment. The job that the Grosjean is doing. The gap now between Grosjean and Sutil is over 23 seconds, so he definitely has a pit stop. Massa has just about got a pit stop. Hulkenberg not yet got a pit stop over Sutil, who also has not stopped yet.
3+ gap to the car behind.
So the fact that Sutil hasn't stopped yet, and since the safety car came in, Grosjean has got a 23-second lead over him. Just shows the pace, just shows the speed of the Lotus. It's really, really good at the moment. So Massa can still see Grosjean. Massa can still see Grosjean as he comes out of the chicane, just as Massa's going in. He's just got to try and wait it out a little bit. Wait for his opportunity, wait for the team to come up with a strategy that can work for him. Because he's got some leeway now over the rest of the field. Vettel's race has been ruined. Sebastian Vettel must be absolutely livid at the moment where he's not even in the top 4. Sutil is, he must be getting on half a minute behind. And Grosjean is 2 seconds lap faster than Sutil. The gap's now up to over 25 seconds. So he really is getting the job done, and Vettel's chances of winning this race might just be gone.
You currently have a 3-second gap between
The gap's
you and the
5 seconds to Grosjean now, so that is the first time actually I believe that the gap has been above 5 seconds, because now Grosjean is showing the class, showing speed in this Grand Prix. I mean, you got to wonder where Raikkonen would have been. I mean, Raikkonen was a few seconds behind Grosjean anyway. So, well, I mean, potentially it could have been a Lotus 1-2 by now if Raikkonen was on the same strategy. If Raikkonen was on the same strategy as Grosjean, the two Lotuses could have been 1 and 2, and Grosjean is now in. So Grosjean pits, giving Felipe Massa the lead. Felipe Massa started, don't forget, Felipe Massa started this Grand Prix in last position, dead last, and now he is first with a 26. Sorry, the gap between Grosjean and Sutil was 26 seconds as they went through the middle sector, so not that much to Massa. So, as Sutil pitted, I think Sutil has pitted as well. So Grosjean is out easily ahead of the next car. Grosjean is definitely out ahead of whoever is in 4th place now. I think Sutil pitted. Yeah, there are a few cars in the pits. So, the pack has been released.
Pit crew will ready option tyres for your next stop.
So the pack is now being released, and well, the Ferrari mechanics are coming out. Alonso is already out of the race, so it must be Felipe Massa. Massa's only done 18 laps on these tyres, and he's about to get rid of them. It's good because he did not have the pace. Hulkenberg does not have the pace, so he's going to get rid of those tyres. Is he going to stick on a set of options? Yes, he is. So option tyres going on the car. He's reacting to Grosjean. He's reacting to Grosjean, then should easily go past him. And does. And Sutil is still out there actually. Sutil is still out there in 4th place. And now does come in. So Sutil comes into the pits. Massa exits the pits. And Vettel is now in 4th. Vettel is in 4th. Now we will soon see the speed that Vettel has. and the gap now is 6 seconds. So Grosjean on his outlap was a second faster than Felipe Massa. Vettel now 5.8 seconds behind Felipe Massa. So it's beginning to take shape now. We still don't know how many stops Massa is going to have to do. At 34, is he going to go with the prime tyres again? If he doesn't, and he sticks with the option tyres, he's going to have to drag that out quite a bit, or he's going to have to pit another 2 times. So he's already pitted twice. He might have to pit another 2 times. So he might be 4 stopping in this Grand Prix. Is Felipe Massa. And Grosjean is trying to 1 stop. It's just incredible at the moment. And Vettel is faster than Massa. Massa on a brand new Vettel with a fastest lap immediately. The lap Sutil comes into the pits. New fastest lap then by Sebastian Vettel, 1:15.5. Massa's fastest lap still at 1:16.9. So Massa really has been struggling on those prime tyres, but now can get on with it. And I think Grosjean and Massa and Vettel are all going to quickly swallow up Nico Hülkenberg. But can they get past the Sauber? This is the question. Once they get there, I'm sure they'll be closing it down quite quickly, as Massa does the fastest the fastest first 2 sectors of the Grand Prix. Purple first sector, purple second sector. He has now begun to extend his lead a little bit over Sebastian Vettel, as we now come up towards the start finish line. It is a 1:14.8 by the Ferrari. Now he's got some speed. Now he has got some speed. And he's closing the gap now then to Romain Grosjean, but he's hit the wall on the inside of Casino Square. He's gone away with it without any damage, but he's lost a lot of time. So all that time that he made up on that amazing lap, he's just lost all of it in 1 corner. Coming up then towards the middle sector. The Vettel's green a couple. Well, Vettel actually does have quite a bit of a gap over the cars behind, but there are other cars behind who also have quite a bit of speed. And they got 5.3 seconds between Grosjean and Massa. Is that a car coming out of the pit lane ahead of Grosjean? I think it is. I think it's a back marker. 5.1 to Grosjean, 5.2 between Massa and Vettel. So Massa very much by himself at the moment. He's taken a few tenths out of Grosjean in the first sector. Got down to 4.8. And he's taken a few tenths. So Massa is quite fast in the first sector. He's a couple of tenths faster than those around him. I think Grosjean is about to come across some traffic, unless whoever it is can pull away, given that they're on fresh tyres, although I'm not totally sure about that. It certainly doesn't look like it. Massa struggles a little bit on the exit of the chicane, through to back. Now through the swimming pool chicane. The gap's come down by another tenth, it's 4.7. But Vettel took half a second out of Massa. So Vettel really is getting going again in this Grand Prix. He really is getting the car in gear. And yeah, I mean, Massa took another tenth out of Grosjean, but Vettel took another half a second out of Felipe Massa. Vettel was a second faster than Massa in the final 2 sectors of that lap. Grosjean's struggling with that traffic. The gas down to 3.7. Has he got past it? And Vettel's now matched Massa's first sector. Vettel is flying. Vettel is absolutely flying in this race at the moment. Mate, he seems to have been able to conserve his tyres behind Sutil, and he's trying to bring himself back into this race. And Hulkenberg is dropping back into this pie. Now that's interesting. Hulkenberg really is struggling on those prime tyres. And that's exactly what Massa was doing. Massa was no quicker. But who can get past Hulkenberg? So it's Peak. Then, and now this is the top three.
You're gaining on Grosjean around 1 second per lap.
This is the top three then. Hulkenberg, Grosjean, Massa, and Vettel is coming at them at such a speed as well.
We can't let this guy hold us up much longer. Pass him.
So here is the battle for the lead then. And Vettel 4 tenths faster than Massa in the first sector. Now that Massa's behind this pair.
We think the car behind is running on full revs. He's trying to close the gap.
Massa's team radio is telling him that Vettel is running at full revs. He's giving it absolutely everything to get onto the back of this pair. And Massa slithers one up the inside. And Romain Grosjean to take second place. Again, I think it was one of those moves that he just wanted to get out the way rather than making it an overtaking move. But that's what it turned out to be. Now can he get past Nico Hulkenberg? These are moves that Massa needs to do for his race. He needs to get past Hulkenberg. Is he going to have a go down into turn 1? He's a little bit far back. And he's going to have a go anyway. But can't make it stick. Hulkenberg hangs on to it. Grosjean's all over the back of them. They're side by side, going up the hill, up towards the Casino Square. They're still side by side. Hulkenberg still trying to hang it out, but ends up giving it up. And Grosjean goes past as well. Grosjean passes Hulkenberg as well. Good opportunistic move by Grosjean. But now it's gonna be Sebastian Vettel, stuck up behind his countryman in the Sauber. Can Vettel get past Hulkenberg? That could ruin his race as well now that Massa and Grosjean are through, especially since we think Grosjean is trying to get to the end. If Grosjean's trying to get to the end, Grosjean is absolutely laughing. Massa, we think, might have to stop another twice.
Car behind is only a second down on you. 1 second.
And Grosjean's attacking Massa. Right, well, there's no easy way about this. Massa needs to get on with this race. He really is in a fight now. The top four are split by less than a second between each person. 8 tenths between Massa and Grosjean, 9 tenths between Grosjean and Hulkenberg, and 3 tenths between Hulkenberg and Vettel as they went across the start-finish line. I think what Massa needs to do now, Massa needs to get a gap over the struggling Hulkenberg before he makes his next stop. He really does not want to be held up. When he comes in, how far can Massa go on his tyres? It really is wide open at the moment. I mean, you would think that you would think that Vettel, if he can get past Hulkenberg, could win this Grand Prix. But he's got to get past Grosjean. But towards the end of the Grand Prix, Grosjean is going to be absolutely nowhere in pace. Grosjean is going to be absolutely nowhere. But The only person that seems to be able to capitalise by doing any overtaking is Felipe Massa. Felipe Massa started 22nd and is now in the lead, but that's not representative. That's not where he actually is. He's got pit stops to do, he's got people around him, so he's got the gap to Hulkenberg already out to nearly 5 seconds. So that is going to be really helpful. And now they come up towards the chicane once again. I suppose you've got to say, maybe Massa should be trying to get a pit stop over Grosjean as well. It'll give him some more pace, but Grosjean's pace seems to be quite good at the moment. He's on relatively new prime tyres, so he seems to be making it work for him. As we start lap 43, so we are over half distance, and it seems to have turned into a four-way race. Although at the moment, well, we don't know what Hulkenberg's strategy is. We don't know what Hulkenberg is trying to do. We think Hulkenberg is going to stop again. He pitted quite early on, not long after he pitted under the safety car actually, which was around about lap 20. So there was no way he's going to get 58 laps out of the set of tyres. So he's going to have to stop again. Which means that he should be able to, at some point at least, come cruising back up to the back. Or at least, like, be a lot faster than Romain Grosjean. So if Hulkenberg's got to stop one more time, we think Vettel's got to stop one more time as well. But can Vettel get ahead of Hulkenberg at some point, whether it be around the pit stops, or whether it be on the track? And then of course Grosjean, as we know, we think is trying not to stop again. And Massa, we know, has definitely got to stop at least one more time. At least. It'll depend what tyres he goes on to when he stops next.
You're slightly increasing your lead over Grosjean.
And the gap's 1.2. He's not pulling away from Romain Grosjean at all. But he is pulling away from Hulkenberg. The gap now out 7.5 seconds. Vettel stuck there, 0.3 of a second behind. But we are now coming up towards some traffic. Might that help the Ferrari and actually the Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel? Might it help Vettel get ahead of Hulkenberg? He has 8.4 now to Hulkenberg and Massa, so it seems that Massa has actually managed to start pulling out seconds at a time over Hulkenberg as he now passes last place Max Chilton. I think that's the third time that Chilton has been lapped in this race, and now Grosjean's got to overtake the Marussia. But I don't think he has, and I think the Marussia's causing Grosjean a bit of trouble here. What's the gap then? If they come across the start-finish line, start lap 45. 3.3 to Grosjean. Yeah, Grosjean lost a couple of seconds there because of the traffic. And Hulkenberg is 6.6 behind that. So the gap was 7.5 seconds. It's now 10. So 2.5 seconds. He's got to. Well, I suppose he's just got to stay out until he manages to get that pit stop over Hulkenberg. He's got another 9/10 in the first sector. So Hulkenberg is the reference then for Massa. He needs to get out ahead of Hulkenberg to make this strategy work. If the strategy is what we think it is. And that is that he's got to get out ahead of Hulkenberg and then push to get onto the back of Grosjean once again. And take it from there really, and just see what happens. The gap's 4 seconds now to Grosjean. So it seems that Massa's got a bit of pace, even towards Grosjean, although Grosjean now is on a set of prime tyres, so Grosjean's pace is still good. And the gap's 12 seconds. There's 2 seconds in the first 2 sectors. This car's just going a bit. It's not Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg comes across the line at 8.3 to Grosjean. So the further forward, there's over 13 seconds now. So that's 3 seconds again on that lap. So, well, Massa got 15 laps out of the option tyres the first time. He pitted on lap 15. Was that strategic, or was that because the tyres were giving up on him? 15 laps from when he pitted, which was lap 33, is 48, which is only 2 laps from now. He does not yet have a pit stop over Hulkenberg, and he is now coming under traffic, approaching traffic. This is not good for Felipe Massa. Oh, that wasn't very good in this swimming pool chicane either. It's got the gap up to Grosjean to 5 seconds. And the gap between Grosjean and Hulkenberg is now 9.8. So it's around about 14 and a half seconds the gap to Hulkenberg, between Massa and Hulkenberg. And it seems that Sebastian Vettel has pitted. Or something has happened, because Webber is now in 4th place and not Vettel. How strange. Webber is ahead of Sebastian Vettel at the moment. Has Vettel made a stop? Or has Webber managed to get past his teammate on the road, as Massa manages to lap both of the Toro Rossos with relative ease? Through to back then, through the swimming pool section.
Grosjean following 5 seconds behind you.
And the Williams conveniently goes into the pits ahead of Massa, so that's good for him as well. And now he goes on to lap 48. At 12 and a half seconds to Nico Hulkenberg. Between Grosjean and Hulkenberg. So, and Vettel's now back and forth. So, it's 12 seconds by. So the Red Bulls have just pitted. So I think then that the Red Bulls are not going to stop again. I don't think the Red Bulls are going to stop again. And that would mean then that Vettel will be ahead of Nico Hulkenberg once Nico Hulkenberg comes in. And then it's up to Romain Grosjean. And we're soon going to see what Massa can do. How many laps can he get out of these tyres? This is lap 15 on those tyres. And the Ferrari mechanics are out again. So this is the lap then for Felipe Massa. Can he get out ahead of Nico Hulkenberg? 5.3 to Grosjean. What's the gap to Hulkenberg? 19. Hulkenberg has made a mistake. Hulkenberg has hit some trouble. And there's a collision down at the swimming pool chicane. Hulkenberg is in real trouble.
Watch out for traffic as you rejoin the track.
Or is it Hulkenberg?
You have no more
Hulkenberg's gone through.
so look after your tyres. The car behind is running on.
Well, it's hard to tell, but anyway. So that was confusing, but Massa has got out ahead of Nico Hulkenberg by 1.3 seconds. Massa did what he needed to do, and he's gone back out on a set of another set of option tyres. So that means then, quite simply, he can get 15 laps out of these tyres. So put him on lap 15, then went 18 on the primes to 33. So that leaves 45 laps, which is 3 sets on the option tyres, which is exactly what he's doing. 33 to 48, and now 48 so his next scheduled stop should be around lap 63. But now he needs to get a move on. Hulkenberg has to stop again. Vettel does not. Grosjean does not. So Massa still has a massive job on his hands, and he needs to start getting on it. And he can get on it in terms of Romain Grosjean, because Romain Grosjean now is on a set of quite a bit older prime tyres. Older prime tyres, and Felipe Massa doing his bit on a new set of option tyres to get back into the fight. And then he's going to be on even newer option tyres at the end, when Grosjean's tyres are going to be absolutely dead. Absolutely destroyed. And then we'll see where Vettel is around that time. Of course, Vettel is still behind Nico Hulkenberg. So I suppose at this point now, Massa wants Hulkenberg to stay out for as long as he can and hold up that Red Bull of Sebastian Vettel. You can see in the speed of Vettel that he pitted. He pitted a few laps ago and is already nearly right back on the back of that Sauber. And Massa has taken a couple of seconds out of Grosjean since the pit stop. So that's good for Massa. Gaining all the time. The gap was 1.3 and it's now 7 seconds to Hulkenberg, and it's now under a second between Hulkenberg and Vettel. Vettel is where he needs to be. He's made up an entire pit stop on that Sauber, and that in not a lot of laps either. We got 10.6 to the lead. 27 laps to go. We're beginning to see the race take shape. But we will see it take shape once Hulkenberg pits. And then we'll see what kind of pace Vettel has. So Vettel can still get a podium out of this race. He's still going to have to catch and overtake Grosjean. And probably keep Massa behind him. Because Massa we think's got to stop again. So we're pretty sure at this point. And oh dear! Oh, okay. So Massa has just hit the wall on the exit of the final corner. It's damaged his front wing, and that's lost him some time to Grosjean as well. There's Massa, then he's got to come to terms with the lost downforce. Is that going to prove to be critical in the outcome of this race? Gets back down to 10.9, so he is still a little bit quicker than the Lotus. But really, I mean, Grosjean's pace is good enough at the moment. Grosjean is doing really well on these tyres at the moment. He's got, what has he got? He's got he's got over a 20-second lead to Sebastian Vettel. So it is looking good for Romain Grosjean at the moment. Massa is doing his best. He's got to get, he's pretty good. His objective now probably is to try and get another pit stop out. Eke another pit stop's worth of time out of Hulkenberg. But the thing is that Hulkenberg, I'm pretty sure, will stop before Massa, which will release Vettel. So he's got to get some time over Vettel. and then hang on to it until he pits, and that will give Massa track position. But that's another 10 laps away yet. And now, as they come up towards the swimming pool chicane once again, Grosjean 10.5 seconds away now. Come down onto the pit straight. Start lap 54. It's gone quite quickly this race. A lot's happened. Got 22.9 seconds between Grosjean and Hulkenberg. So Grosjean has got a pit stop. Grosjean has a pit stop over Hulkenberg. So, well, theoretically then really, Grosjean could make another stop. A precautionary stop if anything else. Just to keep his tyres fresh. And that will make absolutely sure that he can't be overtaken or have to struggle on his tyres towards the end of the race. Grosjean then approaching some traffic. Massa has not done any fastest times since, well, just as I say that actually, I was going to say he has not done any fastest times since his pit stop and since he did that damage to his front wing, so it wasn't affecting lap time, but he's just done the fastest middle sector of the Grand Prix. Yeah, he's not as quick in the final sector. With 1:15.2, so his fastest lap is still 1:14.8, which at the time was absolutely spectacular and still is the fastest lap of this Grand Prix. Let's go through Casino Square once again. Hulkenberg still not coming in, and that is the main story of this race now, is that Hulkenberg is holding up Sebastian Vettel. He's got to try. We're pretty sure that Hulkenberg's got to stop again within the next 23 laps. He's been on those prime tyres for 33 laps. Well, sorry, around about 35 laps now. Grosjean's trying to do 48. No, less than. It's not as many as that, is it? It's 46. I think he pitted in like 32. So it'll be 46 laps Grosjean is trying to do on those prime tyres in order to win the race. Hulkenberg's have already done 33. Sorry, 35, sorry. Well, they've already done 35. Grosjean, then the gap is 8 seconds. So Grosjean and Massa. Massa beginning to get the gap down.
Good pace, you're catching the guy in front by a second per lap.
And there's another knock into the wall there on the exit of turn 1. As Massa now has got the pit stop over, well, not so sure actually, it's 18 seconds he needs. Oh, Hulkenberg is pitted. Or has Vettel just got past him? I think Hulkenberg is pitted. So Vettel has been released, the gap is 19 seconds. That is not enough. And who's that on the... It's Grosjean! Grosjean! Balotus is in the wall! Lap 56, and that is a major development for this Grand Prix. Romain Grosjean is not only in the wall, he is out of the race. Romain Grosjean out of the Monaco Grand Prix. He is not in prime position anymore. Now the race is right back in the balance. The two Red Bulls are second and third. We think they do not have to stop again. Massa does. Vettel, Webber, Hamilton split by 1.3 seconds. Second, third and fourth. Massa has to stop again. And in that stop they will probably choose to change his front wing, which will take even longer. So Massa will have to do some overtaking to win this Grand Prix. It's right on the outside there. So now we're going to look at when Felipe Massa is going to make that final pit stop in what we think will be 6 laps time on lap 63. And if he can, try and pull out something. Try and pull out anything on Sebastian Vettel and the cars he's racing. Are they going to take time out of each other? We'll have to wait and see. Now we're going again, and Massa laps the Force India. We got 17.5 seconds. Oof. Nearly hitting the inside wall there in Casino Square. But it seems that lapping that Force India has cost him a lot of time. The gap down to just 16 seconds now. That is nowhere near enough. Massa is battling to try and get something to try and drag some time back, but it just does not look like it's going to happen. Massa is going to have to overtake some cars. He's going to come out, at the moment, it looks like in 4th. But you don't know, it might even be lower than that. And we got to see then how fast Hulkenberg is on those option tyres. Oh, well, we don't know actually. He may have come in for option tyres. Grosjean did over 30 laps on the option tyres, so I think at this point of the race, with the fuel load coming down a little bit, it is possible to do. So I think Hulkenberg would have gone onto the option tyres, which puts him well, we're not sure where he is on the road or what traffic he's in, but he might be able to drag himself back into contention then. Massa is able to stabilise the gap as long as he doesn't make any mistakes, but he's on older tyres. Or is he on older tyres actually? I'm not sure. Probably more worn tyres at least, because Vettel is going to... No, actually I don't think he is on... I think he's on newer tyres than the 2 cars behind. But probably more worn tyres, as the others are probably on primes. They've probably got a little bit more life left in them, more consistency in the laps. Massa's got to try and eke out something, anything in the time that remains before his pit stop. They come up towards the middle sector and Vettel's got a little bit of gap. It's only a second over the cars around him. They got 16.2, that is not enough. And the fact that Webber and Hamilton are less than 2 seconds back on that means that Massa's not going to come out ahead of either of those either. We're on lap 60 now, and Massa is beginning to come across some more traffic. .2, so it's ebbing and flowing, the gap, but well, I think it's a very, very pivotal point in this race that Romain Grosjean is out. I think Romain Grosjean could have won this Grand Prix. I think Romain Grosjean could well have won this Grand Prix had he been able to get to the end. But as it is, neither Lotus is going to win this Grand Prix. One of the Ferraris is out, but the other one is in the lead. And the other one, Fernando Alonso, had a collision under the safety car with Nico Rosberg, which took them both out of the Grand Prix. Now Rosberg's teammate Lewis Hamilton, currently in 4th. As the team radio tells us, oh! And Massa has gone wide and has touched the wall on the outside of Mirabeau. That is not good. It's not going to help his time either. It was after the first sector point, so that time that you're seeing there, 15.5 seconds, the gap not 12%. We'll find that out in the middle sector. But as I was saying, Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes is now battling the Red Bulls for the potential lead of this Grand Prix. Massa's going to drop back as Massa laps Chilton for a 4th time in this Grand Prix. Now we're going to find out what that did to the gap to Sebastian Vettel. That was 15.5 seconds. It's now 12.9. It cost him over 2.5 seconds to the Red Bull. And that's not good. Massa pushes on then with his damaged front wing, with his worn tyres. And Massa's just all over the place. Even slower in the first sector. By 1.5 seconds slower. That's Vettel now 11.6 seconds. Massa really is going to have to do something special to win the race now. Got 16 laps to go in the Grand Prix. We don't think anybody else has got to make another stop, or none of the people near the front at least. Massa is the last one that needs to do that, and we think it's going to be on lap 63. Massa's managed to get the gap back up to 12 seconds. That doesn't mean it's going to stay there. Then the Ferrari mechanics beginning to get tyres ready. So we were right then, lap 63 for the Ferrari of Felipe Massa. As Massa is beginning to catch some more traffic on his in-lap. This is not really what he needs. Well, I don't think it's going to do much to the position he comes out in. Wow. Soon find out. I don't think Massa is going to catch the traffic actually. It doesn't look like he's going to, so he's not going to catch that traffic. So he's going to be able to come in unhindered and into the pits then for the last time. Are they going to change the front wing? Yes, they are. New front wing goes on. Vettel hasn't gone past yet, but he's about to now. Vettel goes past. Webber goes past. Hamilton goes past. Hulkenberg is in 5th.
You're free to rejoin the track. The track is clear.
He gets out ahead of Hulkenberg. Where is Hulkenberg? In terms of with the other cars. He seems to be quite far back, 12 seconds back. So Hulkenberg's chances of a podium seem to have gone away now. Yep, 6 seconds to Lewis Hamilton.
The next car, 6 seconds.
Laps to go then. Massa on his outlap is all over the place. He's got to try and catch and overtake all of the top 3 now in order to win this Grand Prix. He's 3 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, who is struggling with the traffic of Chilton. Oh no, sorry, that's Di Resta, sorry. So Hamilton's already got past them. We got 3.2, so a 10th been taken out. And Hulkenberg then less than 10 seconds behind Massa. As Massa does the fastest first sector of the Grand Prix, his first flying lap since the pit stop. He's all over the place, going into the nose hairpin. He's somehow managed to keep it out of doing some significant contact with the wall. He's pretty ruined his lap though. The fastest lap he was going to do. We think there's Vettel going into the chicane, followed by Webber and Hamilton. And and he's gone across the. He's gone straight on. He lost a lot of time doing it. There's no warning from the FIA for that. He did lose a second. Across the start finish line, they got 3.5 seconds. Despite that, the lap was a 1:15.7. So Massa definitely has speed. Whether or not he can, depends whether or not he can do anything about it, or he can use it in a controlled way without flying off the road into walls. Takes another couple of tenths out of Hamilton.
About 3 seconds between you and the next car.
So as it stands then, the three that we thought were in contention for victory, which were Grosjean, Massa and Hulkenberg, not a single one of them are even going to be on the podium. Just shows how much a race at Monaco, or a race at any track in Formula 1, can turn in an instant. Massa's strategy really has played against him. He's done the fastest middle sector of the Grand Prix. Hulkenberg's pace just was not good enough. Massa's wasn't either, but he acknowledged it early, changed his strategy. The person who did have the pace and probably should be winning this Grand Prix by quite some margin right now, as Massa does a new fastest lap of 1:14.3, that's half a second quicker than the previous one. You can now see Hamilton and Webber. Vettel is creating a gap once again in the lead. And I wonder what Vettel must be thinking as well. I was going to say that the one person who had the speed, whose strategy was absolutely impeccable, and had a bit of luck as well. But other cars getting held up, cars like Vettel getting held up, and that was Romain Grosjean. But Grosjean is no longer even in the race. And somehow, despite being held up behind Hulkenberg, despite being held up behind Sutil before that, despite having his gap slashed by the safety car, Sebastian Vettel leads the Monaco Grand Prix with 11 laps to go. And it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to stop him unless Felipe Massa can overtake a couple of cars. And he's hit the bollard and then lost control, went into the wall. Massa is not making this easy for himself. He really isn't. Massa once again with the new fastest first sector, pulling away from Hulkenberg now. Hulkenberg 12.6 behind. So Hulkenberg then seems resigned in fifth unless something dramatic happens ahead of him. And now Hamilton Hamilton being caught by Massa. Massa probably needs to clear these cars pretty quickly. Hamilton on the prime tyres. Webber, it looked like he was on the prime tyres as well. Massa with the DRS. Hamilton's got DRS as well. 1:14.2 then by Massa as he goes down the inside of Lewis Hamilton to take third position at the beginning of lap 69. 10 remain, including this one. Webber is on the hard tyre. Massa moves back up into a podium position. Now he's got to try and get past Mark Webber. And he's going to have to do it as soon as possible. They come into the tunnel. Massa has been supreme on the brakes, catching himself out as well on many an occasion. What can he do against Webber? He's Webber can't across him. So Webber, it seems, has got that move covered. Massa's going to have to do it with the DRS, I think. Is he even in the DRS zone? Massa's done an awful couple of corners since he locked his brakes into that corner. Has he flat spotted one? Has he overheated them? He has got the DRS, but there's no way he's going to be able to make up that kind of ground. And Massa all over the back of Mark Webber. He's going to have a go, is he? Is he going to have a go? It's a Casino Square, they're side by side. Massa leaves some space on the entrance to Casino Square and he's got it. What a move by Felipe Massa on the Red Bull of Mark Webber.
The car behind has a small amount of damage to his front wing. We don't think it's affecting his performance, so keep pushing.
And with 8 laps to go, the gap to Sebastian Vettel is 5 seconds. Jack is giving it everything. Sorry, Massa is giving it everything. Oh, my bad. Button, 9th place man, is just being lapped. I think he's being held up by this car. Whoever this car is. Let's find out, I think. It's Gutierrez who is in 8th place. So Gutierrez in 8th is about to be lapped. And I think, yeah, and that will be it for the rest of this wall. Gutierrez had to move out of the way and move right into Massa's way. At 5.1 between Vettel and Massa, lap 71 with the Monaco Grand Prix. And Massa has got to keep it clean, and he's not doing so. He still managed to take 3/10 out of Vettel, but he has got to keep it clean, keep his tyres intact as well. We know that he can only get 15 out of them. He's got to have some life in them when he gets to Vettel, if he gets to Vettel. And now you come up through the swimming pool chicane once again. A purple middle sector by Felipe Massa, the gap down to 3.6. He's already got a 5-second lead over Mark Webber. It's a very good lap then by Felipe Massa. Is it going to be a 1:14? 1:14.005. Couldn't quite break into the 13s. It took another couple of tenths out of Sebastian Vettel. Gets down to 3.4. 7 laps remain, including this one. You can see Vettel. He's done another fastest first sector. Another fastest first sector of the Grand Prix. Another 3/10 out of Vettel. Every corner matters. Every corner makes a difference now. A little bit wide on the entrance to that chicane, but he scooped it up quite well. Through to back. That's down to 2.8. So it's another 3/10. It's nowhere near as fast as the lap before, but it's still enough to be faster than Vettel. .1:15.1, and he lost that time. So the time he gained in this middle sector, he lost in the last. So the gap is still 3.1. 6 to go. He can see him. An amazing first sector. What a first sector by Felipe Massa. 2.2 the gap down to 9/10 of a second out of Vettel in the first sector alone. Half a second. That fastest first sector is half a second quicker than any first sector we have seen in this Grand Prix. Simply incredible. That's 1.8 now. So Massa is going to catch Vettel. Can he pass Vettel? This lap should be in the 14s. It is a 14.4. So it just seems to not have the pace in the middle and final sectors to be able to capitalise on the excellent first sectors he's been doing. Massa very cautious in that first sector this time, and yeah, it shows. He lost a 10th of a second in that first sector. He just did not have the line right, and that cost him. These two are the pace of these two is absolutely incredible. They are catching more traffic.
The car behind has minor front wing damage.
And I'd say that I think that's Webber that's got more. He's got some front wing damage, and that's why Webber's not going at Vettel's speed at the moment. Shame for him, but Vettel has been the one that's had the pace all day. Vettel is the one that's been out front. It was out front at the beginning, made a gap, lost it under the safety car, and then lost his way. Red Bull cost him with strategy, choosing not to come in under the safety car. Then Vettel could not overtake Sutil, and then Hulkenberg. But somehow Vettel has wormed his way back into the lead. But now he is the one being hunted by Felipe Massa. The gap down to 1.8. And the gap to Webber now up to 9 seconds. It's going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult. 1.2 now, with 4 laps to go. Can Felipe Massa pull it off? Can he take the lead? Can he win from 22nd here at Monaco? Trying to just get onto that. And the gap is now 8/10 of a second, but he's got the swimming pool section all wrong, and because of that he's going to be behind. He's going to be outside the DRS zone. Vettel's being held up by Chilton. Chilton then being lapped for the 5th time in the Grand Prix.
We've only got a few laps left to pass this guy, so if you're going to do it, it needs to be soon.
And that's the message from the team radio. And we just saw there on the Delta that Felipe Massa is 1 lap short of fuel. That is not good, and he's all over the back of Vettel. He's with him now. Three laps to go in the Monaco Grand Prix. Massa's tyres are a lot younger. Can Massa have a go into the chicane? No! The Red Bull seem to be just as good under braking. He's all over the back of the Red Bull.
Okay, you have
Coming
to
up
pass him. You have to pass
towards Raskas on the final quarter. Can he have a go with the DRS? He's got the DRS. Down the pit straight. Can't quite do it. And now he's going to come up the inside, off the back of turn 1. And he's done. He's given Vettel a little shove into the wall. But Felipe Massa takes the lead on the penultimate lap. Great stuff by Felipe Massa. Now he's gone into fuel saving mode immediately. But he can't relax too much, he still has that Red Bull behind him. He's got to hold him off. It says that he's going to run out of fuel on the last lap. Is there going to be another twist to this? If Felipe Massa loses a place to Sebastian Vettel because he is out of fuel, that's going to cause turmoil for Ferrari. Absolute turmoil. Through the swimming pool section. Through Raskas, Vettel's still trying to challenge. He's going to have the DRS down the pit straight. Vettel is not giving up. Massa's got a good enough run though. And into turmoil on the last lap. 0.7 of a second. The fuel delta says -1 lap. This is the last lap. Says he's short of fuel by a lap. This is the last lap. So is he going to run out of fuel? It's just changed to optimal. It seems then that Felipe Massa is going to get to the end after all. With this setting, he just needs to get there ahead of Sebastian Vettel now. He's got another car ahead of him for traffic. Just what he needs. I don't think he's going to catch him in time though. He's probably going to try and make sure he doesn't, but he can't race too hard. He has 1.2. Felipe Massa is going to do it. Through Raskas for the final time. Through the final corner. He's got it all wrong, but he's got the gap. Vettel is trying to close but can't do it. Felipe Massa wins at Monaco. From last on the grid. Wow. Incredible. He wins by only 0.4 of a second at the end. Adrian Sutil was the car that nearly got lapped in 7th. New trophy